Welcome to Bragg N Bout Business. And this week we are on hiatus. We're actually on hiatus all summer, but I'm taking a hiatus from the hiatus for a very special, important cause. This week we have with us representatives from the Bragg Creek Foundation and Redwood Meadows Emergency Services to talk about exactly what these organizations do in our communities, the essential play that they have in the greater Bragg Creek and area and Redwood Meadows. This week we have Julie Handrahan from the Bragg Creek Foundation and Alison Archambault from the Redwood Meadows Emergency Services. Welcome to Bragg N Bout Business, ladies.
Thank you.
All right. So, Julie, let's start with you.
Okay.
The Bragg Creek Foundation has a long and storied past. Maybe you can explain a little bit about what you do and then the history behind the foundation.
Absolutely. So the Bragg Creek Foundation, I think we're over 65 years now. It was about 1959 that a group of women in Bragg Creek got together, and it was primarily before the Bragg Creek Community Association was built. And the husbands were doing the building of the Community Association, and so the ladies came along to actually be the fundraising arm of that. And so that started in 1960.
Wow.
Yeah. So all those years, all these amazing members within our community have continued to come together and carry on the tradition of the founding members. And really, our goal was to fundraise for the community association. But over the years, we actually helped several community groups, whether it was the little schoolhouse, Bandit Peak School, like Junior Forest Wardens, Scouts, all of that. We even Stars. We were a huge supporter of Stars.
Oh, really? Interesting.
As well as the AED that is in the Community Association to this day was part of our fundraising efforts.
Important.
So we, I think it was 2023, decided, and there was long conversations with our former member, Michelle McDonald, who passed away. And her and I had many conversations about how can we be more accessible to the entire community, the Bragg Creek area community, Redwood Meadows. And our passion and our goal was always to become a foundation. And so we took it to our membership, and it was a unanimous decision to create our own not-for-profit society and form the Bragg Creek Foundation.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. So hopefully we can continue this for years out, supporting our community and the people within it.
That's a great thing. Okay. Alison, you've been with the Redwood Meadows Emergency Services now for how long?
I've been here for 10 years. RMES is a little younger than the foundation. We are just coming up to our 50th anniversary. Redwood Meadows Emergency Services provides fire, rescue, medical support to Redwood Meadows and the greater Bragg Creek area, including the Kananaskis. Response area is just under 1,000 square kilometers.
Wow.
And we do over 400 calls annually. Special to us is our operating model completely relies on volunteers. So we have currently 23 volunteers that do those over 400 calls a year, train every Tuesday night throughout the year, as well as do community events, whether it's school group visits here, visits to the schools, pancake breakfasts, parade support. And we're currently in water fight season. We bring the water, they bring the fun, and we make sure that kids at camps in the local area have a great time. We are recruitment drive, and those 23 volunteers are just at the heart and soul of everything we do.
Nice. Very nice. So you guys put on one heck of a pancake breakfast
Thank
at
you.
Bragg Creek Days.
Appreciate the reviews.
And you kept the burgers coming too, we appreciate that all weekend.
Good food is always guaranteed when you have firefighters involved.
So the 23 volunteers that you have now, are they all firefighters, or is there some admin as well that they look after?
Everybody does firefighting work. So we have a robust training program that sees folks through a 1-year probationary membership. Everybody goes through the same training modules to make sure that they're a competent, safe firefighter. In addition to that, individuals will take courses to specialize, whether it's in hazardous materials. There are other programs that they can take either for free or the department pays for. And on top of that, we have a number of professionals that join us. So we have 7 medical staff that are licensed to the Alberta College of Paramedics. They're primary care paramedics, they're advanced care paramedics, or we also have 1 registered nurse. So when the trucks come out, we will often beat the ambulances on scene. And you are getting people that their whole professional life life is dedicated to being a paramedic, and they're on scene within 10 to 15 minutes.
Fantastic. So the volunteers then, they're not necessarily outside of being a paramedic or a nurse. They're not career firefighters. These people who they volunteered to be a firefighter, essentially, and you guys are training them.
Yes. So horrible hours, terrible pay, really great hats, and really big hearts. Like the Bragg Creek Foundation, these are people that see the community need and they leave Christmas dinner, they leave their beds at night and head out to help another community member.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That really is.
Do you want to know when we first moved here? So 25 years ago, our first weekend here, we had to call you guys.
Really?
Yeah. Our little one decided to open the gate on the deck and go head first
Oh, no.
off the deck. And it was you guys who came. And honestly, knowing now just how it was community that came was so comforting in a really terrible situation.
Oh, I'm glad you had that
right?
experience.
So
I'm not glad you had a child falling off the deck experience. I'm glad that you had the experience of having community come help you.
well, and that's so important, right? Because that's what our two organizations do. We help community. And like you said, when we see somebody in need, boom, we're there. We got to be there. Right. And I think that's what people in our community, new to our community, or have been in our community for a long time, have to remember is that we are a small town, and small town takes care of community, and I look at you guys as Redwood Meadows Emergency Services. You run when we're fleeing. Like if you think of the flood, for example, right? You guys,
Yeah, that's right.
we were all trying to get out and you guys were going to the disaster. Right?
Paddling in.
Paddling,
Exactly.
and I think of the lady who was stuck in the equipment,
Mm.
right? That
Yeah.
day. But this is what you guys do. And this is what's so special about both our organizations. And actually, during that time, there was a group of community members that came together and fundraised for people who were heavily hit by the flood,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
And that was kind of a catalyst to our urgent needs fund that we currently have.
Okay.
And saying we need to have this available. And I just look at that. We were recipients of that because we were heavily hit with the flood. And so when now we can give back to community who in our urgent needs fund, for example, is if somebody is in a medical crisis or somebody has a fire or something, happens that they can't work and that we can come. And we had a wonderful anonymous donor over COVID that gave us money to help. We called it the COVID Relief Fund at the time. And when COVID, I guess, if you will, say was finished or we opened up, what have you, this donor was more than happy to put the money into our urgent needs fund. So that's how it all
Amazing.
became. But the story from the flood is where this idea came that we have to have these monies available for the next flood, fire, God willing, never. But we know it can happen,
Yep.
right?
It can happen to anyone.
Totally can. Absolutely. I mean, you look at what's going on in BC right now. I mean, it's frightening.
Absolutely.
It's frightening. And when was the last time there was a major fire here in this area?
100 years ago? Over
A long,
100.
a long
wasn't
time
it?
ago.
It was a long time ago. Yeah.
Canyon
It was a while
Creek,
ago.
wasn't it?
Yeah. So we're due. We're due.
We
And it's Redwood Meadows
Ex-
Emergency Services would be first on
Absolutely.
scene if we have an issue.
absolutely.
You think about I hear the sirens. I live just outside of Bragg. I mean, I hear the sirens every week, every day, usually. At least once a day I hear
Mhm.
the sirens, somebody getting rescued in West Bragg, accident on the highway. I don't think a lot of people in the community really appreciate what we have with the emergency services that we have here because until we need them, like your experience.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's important.
Yeah.
Now, let's go back a little to December 2025 and the fire that happened at the back building
Mhm.
at the fire center here. Devastating. What was the losses? What was all lost? Just to recap for our listeners.
So to give you a sense of place, the front building on the fire hall houses the first due vehicles. So it has the rescue, it has bush buggy, and it has our fire engine. The back hall is the building right behind. When you're driving by the fire hall, a lot of folks have no sense of what's back there.
Totally. Yeah.
But in the same way that the front hall had gear and equipment and trucks, that's what the back hall also had. So it housed our second due engine. It housed our water tender. It housed a bush buggy, and it also was home to our UTV, which is used for grass fires, rescues, things like that. Then it had all of our additional equipment, our training equipment. It had a breathing apparatus air refill station. It had our staff training room where all of our training sessions were housed with presentation materials, everything that we needed if we needed to be inside to receive training. And then the staff gym full of donated equipment. And then on the second floor was all of our surplus gear. So turnout gear when we hire on new members so that they have turnout gear, additional training materials. So all the stuff that you put, it's important to you, but you don't need it. You don't need it at a moment's touch.
Right.
So just after 6 p.m. on that day, we got toned out, and the tones come in on our radios and also on our phones. And there's nothing worse than seeing your fire station's number and seeing that you have a fully involved fire at your station.
My goodness.
The members arrived on scene. Interestingly enough, every single member showed up except those that weren't in the country.
Wow.
And we attended to the fire with support from our allies at Rocky View County. Toscuna was on scene, as well as Alberta Health Services to provide rehab support to all the members that were fighting the fire. And it was a total loss at the backhaul. So we had all of those pieces of equipment were completely destroyed. Everything in the building was gone. Within the 4 hours of us initially fighting it, we received a medical call out in the community. Members were relieved from the fire to attend a medical call in the community. So when you talk about still responding, there was still response. And when they came back from that, we actually had a community group that was next door, and they were evacuated because of the fire. And they showed up with a full turkey dinner and in this big long lineup of turkeys and gravies and mashed potatoes and desserts and rolls and everything. So the community was literally taking care of us in a really difficult moment.
It's beautiful.
There was a women's group that was doing their holiday get together, and they had these big charcuterie boards. So think of just table long charcuterie scapes. And they showed up without them even opened. They heard about the fire. They put them in a car. They drove them on over. And so this whole floor was full of cold, frozen firefighters, a turkey dinner, a charcuterie scape, and people calling and texting and emailing from across the country from fire stations asking what they could do, how they could help. And that care continued on for weeks and months, really. We have a $1.5 million shortfall to cover replacement costs. We get lots of asks about what that means. People say, did you not have insurance? We did have insurance. But when you buy something and you keep it for an extended period of time, we take care of things, we maintain things, and then you have to replace them. There is a gap between what you bought it for and what you have to replace it at. The tender was the first thing to be replaced. Rural firefighting is really tricky. We don't have a lot of water around. We don't have fire hydrants that are everywhere. So that water tender is one of the most critical pieces of equipment we have. It hauls the water. It also has porta tanks so that we can work with our allies, have them bring in their water tenders, and then we set up a tender shuttle. So as soon as they look like giant pools, they're set up beside the primary tender, and then other tenders move on by, dump their water, and keep right on going. And that way, firefighters have a constant source of water. So that was replaced over Christmas holidays. It was brought out from Ontario. Redwood Meadows Firefighters Association and the town site have worked together to create a list of what was lost, create a cost for those, work with the insurance company to identify what needs to be replaced, and a plan from there. We've met that initial need, and now we've moved on to the next really big vehicle. So we replaced the tender. We had a bush buggy that was donated to us by Chestermere Fire.
That's awesome.
Really. And it was right before Christmas. It had a note to RMES, love Chestermere Fire on it. It was a really great Christmas present. And then we got a donation from TC Energy, which resulted in us having a new medical response unit. And just recently we announced that 120 UTV had been replaced and fully funded by a private group of donors. They came to us. They live in the area, and they said, what is the thing that you need that maybe the public doesn't know about? And if you've been out on the trails, you will have seen the UTV is out and about. It can be rescuing people that have been recreating and have injured themselves, vehicles, horses, any number of things can happen to people. But the other thing it's used often for in this area is grass fires.
Very common.
It can get into places. It carries a water skid on it, so it can get into places, move crews in and out quite safely. And both us and our partners in Rocky View County have used it. It's been all the way over in Irricana. So really important piece of equipment, but it was privately fundraised for, built by Base Camp Motorsports. And now they're donating 2 years of maintenance on it to make sure that when we beat it up with the calls that they're responsible for making sure it's still roadworthy.
That's awesome. Shout out to Base Camp. You guys are great.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Base Camp. So we've moved through the initial part of our fundraising. We have raised about $600,000 with huge thanks to our community and businesses. There have been so many events and bottle drives and one-off things, including a lemonade stand in the community where kids were selling cookies and going door to door and saying, you got to help the fire department. Every little bit helps. But we've now entered this bit of fundraising where there's a big lift. So we had 2 fire engines. We only have 1 now. You talked about the risk the community is always aware of when you live in the forest. Right. We know that forests across Canada have burnt. So having 2 fire engines is critical for us to be able to keep the community safe. So this next part of our fundraising is replacing that engine that we lost. And this is why fundraisers like what the Bragg Creek Foundation is doing are critical. Those funds are going towards building capacity to fight fires and keep the community safe.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you make a good point too. Obviously, we think about RMES being a Redwood Meadows, Greater Bragg Creek area, service area. But the reality is there's a lot of people that come out here to get service from the city and from visitors and tourists who maybe get hurt in the trails, whatever the case might be when they're recreating out in West Bragg. So don't forget about who's looking after you when you guys come out here to visit the Bragg Creek area.
Yeah.
It's important to support these because you might need them as well. God forbid.
Everybody says it's going to happen to somebody else. And I can tell you, it always happens to someone.
Exactly.
And you're never too well prepared. You're never too experienced. You know, the mountains are complex places, and we're happy to serve those areas. But we just want to be clear to people that it's a massive response area. The responses are very complex. They require significant training for staff, and they require significant equipment. And that the fire engine that we're fundraising for is our next piece.
And these aren't nice to haves. These are necessities that need to be replaced.
They are.
Yeah, absolutely. So still 1.5 million short. This hasn't gone anywhere yet. We still need to continue to raise money. We don't want to forget about it, even though it's been, 9 months almost since the last time, since it happened. And this is kind of where the Bragg Creek Foundation is coming into play too.
Absolutely.
So there is a golf tournament that's going to be happening on August 29th to help raise funds.
Absolutely. So actually last year was our inaugural golf tournament. So Mabel Yao, it's named after her, and she was a member of the Ladies Auxiliary and the Bragg Creek Foundation. And Mabel was an avid golfer. So we hold it at her home golf course, Wintergreen Golf and Country Club. We even have a hole-in-one because Mabel did get a hole-in-one.
Really?
On hole 12. So there's going to be a men's hole-in-one and, of course, Mabel's hole-in-one.
All right.
Right? But our fundraisers typically go for our urgent needs fund to just maintain funds within that, as well as our scholarship fund. So this last year, we gave out 7 $500 scholarships to grade 12 students that are furthering their education.
That's great.
Absolutely, right? And it's university, college, polytechnic, and trades, right? Because trades are important.
Yeah.
And last year, we gave out 9 $300 scholarships. And what our goal is eventually that every grade 12 student that chooses to go on to further their education, we want to be able to give them $1,000 each from home. And they apply and they tell us why it was so wonderful and impactful to grow up in Bragg Creek. So they have to write an essay. And so May 31st is our deadline of each year. And so that's what part of Mabel's second annual golf tournament will go to. But we really felt that it was very important to do our part and support RMES with their rebuild. Just because not only me, but many of our members have also had to call 911, and who comes is RMES. A lot of our members are long-term residents, so we've been through the flood. So we know the importance, as well as I used to work at the clinic here in Bragg Creek, and who always came to the clinic to help us when somebody was maybe having a cardiovascular event or an anaphylactic reaction or you name it. And I mean, you walk in and you see this an amazing group of people, professionals. You know, they're volunteers, they're dedicating their time, but they're always taking care of community. And so as an organization, we felt it was very important for us to do our part in this and share the proceeds with these guys.
Fantastic.
And the golf tournament itself, honestly, it's $210.
It looks like a good time, honestly.
It's going
Like when I
to
saw
be
the
a good
pictures
time.
from last
Do you know
year.
who our caterer is?
Ooh,
Smoke and Oak.
it's going to be a great day. It's going to be
a
yummy.
great day. We're going to have Texas barbecue.
Oh, my
They're going to be
God.
Manhattan.
It's going to be great.
Oh, are there going to be Manhattans? Yes,
All
there
right.
are. And Mabel was famous for her Manhattans.
Mhm.
So if you knew Mabel and Ken and you went to their house, you would always be given a Manhattan.
Oh, my God.
Only one, because that's all you can have. But Mabel was she was amazing. She had the love of life. She was absolutely incredible. And so we chose to honor her with her name on our golf tournament.
That's beautiful. That's
Yeah.
really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. So $210 for the registration fee,
$210 for the registration.
which covers the 18 holes,
18 holes.
all the Manhattans you can drink.
Only one.
Only one.
It might help your tee off. And you know
Yeah.
what? You don't even need to be a golfer. Like new golfers, seasoned golfers,
You
in
just can be out
between
for a good time.
golfers. I mean,
Nobody's going on the PGA here.
no,
right? Yeah,
absolutely
okay.
not. And there's going to be lots of hole prizes. In fact, we're going to have closest to the hat. Helmet. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
hat.
That would be
Are.
good.
So this
Yes.
this leans on the you don't have to be a golfer to participate in this tournament. So when I golf, I like to explore the forest.
Yes.
The
I'm
trees.
familiar with this.
Yeah.
There's
Yes.
no manicured grass where I golf. So there will be a helmet strategically placed in a spot where the excellent golfers don't play golf.
This is smart.
And whoever gets their golf ball the closest to it gets the helmet.
Gets the helmet.
Yeah.
Yes,
Is that
Oh,
not
my
crazy?
God. That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
You know, and
It's fun.
that's what it is. It's a fun day out with community members, helping community. Even, you know, I hear people say, I don't golf. Well, you know what? If you don't golf, that's okay, but still pay your $210 and support RMES
That's right.
and the Bragg Creek Foundation.
Get
You know,
a
or
Manhattan.
$50 or whatever, but just give us donate. This is so important to be able to have access
Yeah.
in case something goes wrong on those trails.
That's right.
Or
Right?
if you
Or-
visit one of the local businesses, and
Yeah.
you know we respond everywhere in the greater Bragg Creek and Redwood Meadows area. So if folks are out here visiting, they'll see us around and about doing our work, and we appreciate the support.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's all about collaboration. And I look at our two groups are collaborating,
Mhm.
but every individual community member can collaborate with us
That's right.
and support both our organizations, and the money stays in the community. I think that's
Yes,
what's really important,
that is
right?
important.
It stays and it supports. Baby, I mean, even your calls, it's not just seniors that you're responding
No.
to,
No.
right? It's all ages. And
Well, during Bragg Creek days, during the beginning of the parade, somebody got bit by a bee right in front of Cinnamon Spoon. And you guys responded in the parking lot because someone was having an anaphylactic shock.
We did, yeah. We had two responses during the parade, and we have had 2 mountain bikes that were donated, and they are right beside us. Those were donor dollars in action, because on a busy parade route, when you
couldn't get
have
through.
tons of people,
Yeah.
you can't get through safely.
No.
Those bikes actually cleared a path for our trucks to go backwards up the parade route, so that we could provide care to people who needed it.
Yeah, unexpected
Yeah.
things that you have to deal with.
And you know what people don't realize too, because we helped fund the supplies, the
Mm,
Bragg Creek
sure did.
Foundation. But you know what was interesting? Never even thought about it. We also helped. It was the Starlink access, the remote access. So these guys can always
yes.
be in touch with who they need to be in touch with. And I didn't even think of that until it was brought forth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? All the little things. So even if it's $5, $10, $100, $200, it stays in our community, and we can continue, both organizations can continue to do the work that we do, and that's take care of community.
That's great.
It's a great example.
That's great.
Yeah.
George and I were talking before about just the lead times and replacing some of this equipment, because we all want things replaced quickly and efficiently. Raising money takes time. And then procuring some of this equipment also takes an extended period of time. This isn't a rebuild that's going to be happening 6 months from now. This is years in the making, this kind of thing. The second engine that needs to be replaced. How long out is that? If you were to have the money today, how long do you think it would be before you would see it?
3 years.
3 years.
Really?
There's no Walmart for fire trucks.
Right, exactly.
You have to plan them. You have to design them to make sure that they're specific for your area. We're really fortunate at RMES. Our officer group has several hundred years of combined experience across them without outing more tenured members.
Sure,
But we have a lot of experience at strategic firefighting, but also designing trucks that are best suited for the community that we have and the community's needs. So it takes a while to get those. And in order to place those orders, you need to have enough fundraised to be able to secure them.
Yeah, 100%. So, yeah, even that just puts the onus on getting the money as soon as possible. So the fundraising, like what we're going to be doing on the 29th, is so important to help get that money in the bank now, so this equipment can be ordered.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So going back to the golf tournament.
Yes.
So where can people register, and when do they have to register by?
So they can go to braggcreekfoundation.ca, and it's right front and center. They can register, and we want to get registrations in as soon as possible. We put the 15th on it primarily because Smoke and Oak has to
Oh, yeah.
Get cooking.
They have to get cooking. They have
How
to
many,
get
how many,
smoking that
how many
meat.
briskets? How many,
Right?
right? Yeah. I
Yeah.
get it.
So the sooner the better. We put the 15th on the advertisements, but we have a bit of leeway, but I would rather see registrations come in. And our goal, we can have 120 golfers. I want 120 golfers.
Yeah. 100%.
It's
Yeah.
right. It's a fun day. You don't need to be good. I'm not good, but it's like if you can swing a club, come on out.
Yeah.
And it's just going to be a ton of fun. And Wintergreen is a fantastic course.
It is. It's beautiful.
It's a beautiful course.
Especially in late August. It's going to be very
Yes.
nice.
And they're amazing to work with. And, we just want to be able to ensure that we can support our volunteers who support us in the time of need.
Exactly. Is there a
Yeah.
theme this year? Wasn't last year? Wasn't there a theme at the golf tournament?
Not really.
No? Didn't people get dressed up?
Some people got dressed up. If
Yeah.
you want to dress up, hey, dress
Okay.
up.
All
What are
right.
you going to dress up as, Greg?
Are you golfing, Greg?
I probably should. I'll be bad if I don't show up to it now. All right.
Well, you've got 2 weeks to figure out what you're going to wear.
You know what? I just think some people, yes, they did come dressed up, and it always makes a good laugh.
Of course.
Right.
Yeah.
And honestly, we're there to have fun.
Yeah, totally.
So total fun, right? But there will be silent auctions. So if you can't make the golf course, head on up to Wintergreen on the 29th and put the bids in. There's going to be some really nice silent auctions. I have the in with a person who has junior hockey tickets. So there might be a couple on that auction table
Amazing.
Very nice.
in Edmonton
Oh,
for a game.
I thought you were talking Bragg Creek Bears for a second.
Wow. They're a good team too,
They are a good team.
right?
But another
Good team
Yes.
is in Edmonton.
Yes.
is in Edmonton. So yes, there's going to be a pair of those tickets on the table for that. And I think, Alison, you guys are going to donate a tour of the hall or something, right?
We are going to donate a tour of the fire hall, and a duty crew is going to be making some lunch. And I got to tell you, we eat really well around here. When we're actually here for the whole meal time, we eat really well. So we will have an opportunity for folks to have a really good station tour, ask your questions, crawl in and out of the trucks, go for a ride in probably one of them, and have a meal. I'm going to come dressed as a firefighter.
Awesome.
That's what I'm going to
That
do
would
that
make
day.
sense.
I can set you up too if you're.
You got something big enough for me?
I do, in
Oh,
fact. Yeah.
okay.
Do you know
All
what's
right.
interesting? Speaking of dressing up as a firefighter.
Can't wait to see where you're going with this. Okay? I'm kind of scared.
No, don't be scared. Was the cost of that equipment?
Mm-hmm.
I was
Oh, yeah.
chatting with somebody and I went, pardon? Like just the gloves. Like tell us about
Thousands of dollars for gloves.
Like it's
crazy.
insane. We have no idea as the public at large, just the cost for the equipment that you need just to walk into a fire
Yeah.
or your boots, what have you, right?
Yeah. The turnout gear, so your jacket, your pants, your boots, your hood, your helmet, is over $10,000 for just that for one person.
Wow.
And when the fire happened, all of our extra gear is in the back. And so we actually had a new recruitment class that was coming on board in January that we had to defer. They were very understanding of that, but we were looking forward to onboarding them, getting them trained up so that we had safe, competent firefighters to add to the total number of people. And we had to defer them because we didn't have gear for them. We were fully operational through the fire. We remain fully operational. We're almost 200 calls in, but things like gear is critical for people to be able to do their work, and we just didn't have it. We have it now due to some member turnover, but the gear is specially sized by the person. So we don't replace the gear for every person, but if you have somebody who is really tall, like me, a little shorter, you need to have the gear. And our officer group has always said that we might be a volunteer fire department, but we don't scrimp on safety.
No,
the equipment that we use, whether it's the trucks or whether it's the turnout gear, is NFPA certified to make sure that everybody's safe. So that's just one of the things that we lost in the fire.
Yeah. So if you want to sponsor a firefighter's equipment, like, donate.
You can do that.
You can do that.
Yeah.
You can say what you want your money to go to too. And we're a charitable organization, so we can issue, tax receipts and all of that. So I think it's really important to just chat and see exactly what's needed. And this is why this podcast is so
We got to get the word out.
We got to get the word out. We got to regenerate the urgency that's needed to keep you guys safe to do your job when we need you.
Yes, and we appreciate that.
For sure. So the need hasn't gone away, even though maybe it's floated at the back of our minds. We want to make sure that we're still thinking about the Redwood Meadows Emergency Services. They still need our help. They have a large downfall that they need to make sure that it gets covered. Is there anything else that you want to mention before we wrap things up?
Just join us. Just join us however you can. I'd love 120 golfers by the 15th of August.
How many do we have right now?
It's interesting.
Not 120.
Not 120.
120.
That's the podcast. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think what's interesting, and we've always found this in Bragg Creek, everybody's last minute in Bragg Creek.
Come on,
right?
Bragg Creek. Let's plan a little better.
So I think right now we have a ways to go. We've probably got like 60 golfers.
Okay, so we're halfway there.
So we're halfway there. So it's not insurmountable. Right?
With a couple of weeks left.
We've had amazing sponsors. I should have brought a list, but we've had amazing sponsors. All our holes are sponsored now.
Amazing.
Excellent.
Our carts are sponsored. The Mabel Manhattans are sponsored. And any extra sponsorships are going to go towards the golf balls, because we have our fabulous golf balls that have
They look beautiful.
the Bragg Creek Foundation logo and #rebuild RMES on it, as well as help with the dinner. We have a sponsor, and it's $5,200. But when people give a sponsorship, that's more money that we can give to
100%
Redwood.
yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So we're just calling on community, extended community, Calgary community, Cochrane community, you name it. If you come out and you live, work, or play in Bragg Creek, come and support our organizations.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
So, and if you're new to Bragg Creek, what a great way to come out and meet your neighbors is at the golf tournament. If you're not even from Bragg Creek, but you love golfing and you want to support a good cause, come on out. August 29th, 1 p.m., shotgun start, Wintergreen Golf Course.
From our perspective, from the moment of the fire to right now, we've just really felt the community rally around us. And we'd be remiss in not thanking people for doing that. We're always the people that come and help, to feel the community reaching out to help us. In the small ways, in the big ways, in whatever way that you're able to, we feel it. We appreciate it. This golf tournament is coming at a really critical time for us, and we appreciate everyone that's able to sponsor, to donate, to participate in the tournament. And for people that don't see themselves in the tournament and maybe don't feel like they have something to give, we just ask, tell somebody else about the Rebuild Initiative.
Right.
Because as a community, sometimes our influence comes from telling a friend. So a friend, you tell a friend, someone else tells a friend, and it becomes a person who can golf or a person who can donate. Everybody has something that they can do. And if you see one of our volunteers out in the community, they're working real hard right now, give them a high five, give them a thanks.
Right.
And thank you to our community for the support.
Yeah. Well, thank you both for the things that you're doing for the community, the Redwood Meadows Emergency Services, the Bragg Creek Foundation, Integral Services. If folks aren't familiar with them, please go check out the website. The things that they do in the community are really, really beautiful and are necessary. I mean, if you guys weren't here doing what you do in both of your organizations, the community would be in a tough spot. It really would be. So we're thankful and we want to continue to support.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So we'll see you all on the 29th,
29th
of August. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you.